Welcome to Computer Applications in Accounting. I am Roshan Herath, your lecturer in Computer Applications in Accounting. So in this video, I'm going to discuss with you an overview to the course. So it's an introduction to the course. Let me first start with some of the general information relating to this course. So this course code is DCBA 1301 and the subject, the computer applications in accounting. So as you are aware, this diploma program is offered by the Department of Accounting, the pioneering accounting department in the country, and you are much privileged to be a part of that. And this is a one-year diploma program, and it consists of 2 semesters. So in the first semester, you'll be taking 4 subjects. In the second semester, you'll be having another 4 subjects. So that's how we operate. And this is a compulsory course. And also you can see that this is a 3 credit course. So what do you mean by this 3 credit course? 1 credit is equal to the 15 hours of teaching and learning. So 1 credit is equal to the 15 hours of teaching and learning. So therefore, if it is a 3 credit course, it should involve at least 45 hours of teaching and learning. But if you consider this course would consist 40 hours of teaching. 40 hours of teaching. So when it comes to the learning, so that is basically the practice that you do, the exercises that you do in this course. So it's something that comes from your side. So it would require at least 60 hours of learning. So this course would require 60 hours of learning. And also in this course, we'll be having assessment. So you know that the final examination is there, and also the continuous assessments we have. So when we consider all together, this course would consist at least 120 hours of teaching and learning. So therefore, you are much privileged. In a 3 credit course, you can teach and learn for at least 120 hours. So then let me come to the mode of delivery. So when it comes to the mode of delivery, so we are planning to conduct, considering the present environment, so it compels us to conduct these diploma programs online, in an online mode. So therefore, so here what we are going to use the strategy. So we'll be using the video recording of the lectures. So we'll be on a weekly basis, we'll be doing the lecture videos, and we'll be uploading them to the LMS. So what you can do, you can simply download them. So those are YouTube videos. You can simply download them and you can study them. And not only that, what we are doing is, so we'll be we are expected to have an online discussion as well. In the sense, so having studied these video lectures, we'll be uploading some exercises, some activities that is to be performed by you. So we are uploading some activities, so you can do that activities. So to discuss these answers of these activities, we are planning to have a 1-hour discussion on a weekly basis. We are planning to have 1-hour discussion, and it's going to be a live online discussion. It's a live online discussion. We'll be doing that using, most of the time, using the Zoom platform. Using the Zoom platform, we'll be engaging with you on a weekly basis. It's an online discussion. Now let me come to the course introduction. This is a specialized course that introduces advanced spreadsheet techniques to manage strategic and operational business requirements arise in relation to financial accounting, management accounting, and financial management. So just to tell you simply, so in this course, what we are going to do, we are going to expose you to advanced applications in spreadsheet techniques. So in this course, we expect to use the Microsoft Excel application software. By using this Microsoft Excel application software, we are going to discuss about different applications relating to financial accounting, management accounting, and financial management. So when it comes to the business decision making, when it comes to the business organization, so you know the financial accounting, management accounting, and financial management. So that is particularly important for a person who is willing to undertake, who is willing to pursue a career in accounting and finance. So therefore, this course is intended to serve your purpose. So we'll be discussing some different applications. So maybe the advanced applications of spreadsheet techniques relating to these different areas. So if I'm just to take an example, so most of you have done your A levels in commerce stream. So there you would have prepared thousands of uh, statement of profit or loss and a statement of financial position, or I would say you would have prepared thousands of financial statements. So in this course, so we are going to produce these financial statements in a computerized environment. So compared to the way that you have done it manually, so in your A levels. But here what we are going to do, we are going to do them in a computerized environment. So you would experience in time to come, so how easy you can come up with these different kinds of financial statements. So that is an example for one of the applications that we'll be discussing under this course. Similarly, in your A levels, I believe you would have discussed about the investment appraisal. So when you are given a particular or several projects, so out of that, based on the net present value, you had to pick up a particular kind of a project. So that is producing a positive net present value. So that is a kind of application relating to the management accounting. So in this course, so what we are going to do, we are going to do investment appraisal, so using a spreadsheet package, and you would experience how easy that you can do these things in a computerized environment. And also, if I'm to take an example from this financial management, so probably you have not discussed them, but this is something very familiar to you. You know, in day-to-day life, so we all obtain loans. So we obtain bank loans, right? Or even we are going for lease agreement, right? We are going for lease agreement. So in this situation, so you know, we'll be paying a installment. So most of the time we are paying a monthly installment. So in such an instance, in this installment, you know, both the capital repayment component and the interest payment is there. So if you are to identify, so in this particular installment that you pay, what is the interest component and what is the capital repayment, you can easily prepare a kind of a schedule, and you can easily identify these different components. So that is another application that we'll be discussing in financial management. So in time to come, you will be exposed to these aspects, right? So in this point, so if I'm just to show you some of the applications that you would do in this course. So this is one of the exam papers that we had in our most recent exam. So I just want to show you the different applications of that, right? So here you can see an investment appraisal. You can see here we have done a investment appraisal. You can see, so there we have taken the net present value, the IRR calculation, and a decision based on that. So here you can see that we have identified certain inputs. So you would have done the same, but in a manual way. But here the difference is that we are going to do everything in a computerized environment. So the different information, your investment, the selling prices, the demand, expected selling price growth. Likewise, you can see that we have identified several variables, the tax rate, and the cost of capital. So likewise, we have identified different aspects. So by using that, so we have produced a kind of output. So this is the investment appraisal that you have performed manually. Right now you can see that in a computerized environment. So we have calculated NPV. So you will witness that how easy we can do these things, right? And here we have the IRR, the internal rate of return, and the decisions based on these different appraisal techniques are there. So you will be exposed to them, right? So this is kind of a application that we discuss, that is investment appraisal. And if I'm to show a few more applications, so this is what I discuss about. So when you obtain a kind of a loan, if you had obtained a loan, if you want to know that what is your installment, if you have to calculate the installment, you can do that. And as I said, that if you want to distinguish the interest payment and the capital repayment, so here we have it. So you can see that this is a 5-year loan and the amount is 1 million, interest rate is 18%. So this is what we call the loan repayment schedule. You can see that if it is duration is 5 years, so if you take the monthly installment, there would be like 60 months. So we have prepared it for 60 months. So then throughout the period, you can see the installment remains the same, but the interest payment and the capital repayment would change. So then at the end of the period, the outstanding amount had become zero. You start with 1 million, but at the end of the 60th installment, your loan outstanding become zero. So that is another example. As I said, the different application that we discussed, right? So you'll be exposed to each and every one of these, and I will ensure that at the end of this course, you will be having a sound understanding in financial accounting related application, management accounting related application, as well as financial management related application. So this is what I told you that, and statement of profit or loss. So based on some given information that you have prepared, the statement of profit or loss, right? So likewise, we'll be discussing a wide range of application. So we'll be starting from the very basic things, and I'm gradually taking you to a kind of much valuable, value-adding content, right? That is my promise from the very beginning. Then let us go back to the course introduction. So now you must be convinced that this course is all about the different applications of spreadsheet techniques. By using the Microsoft Excel, we'll be doing that. එතකොට පුතාලා මම පැහැදිලි කරේ අපේ කෝස් එක සම්බන්ධයෙන්. එතකොට මේ කෝස් එකේ සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ මොකක්ද? අපි කතා කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා ව්‍යාපාර ලෝකයට ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් අදාළ වෙන මේ මූල්‍ය ගිණුම්කරණය, කළමනාකරණ ගිණුම්කරණය සහ මූල්‍ය කළමනාකරණය කියන ශේත්‍රයන් ආවරණය වෙන විදිහට විවිධ applications spreadsheet techniques base වෙච්චි විවිධ applications තමයි අපි කතා කරන්න යන්නේ. එතනින් මම උදාහරණ විදිහට පුතාලට කිව්වා අපි මූල්‍ය ගිණුම්කරණයේදී මූල්‍ය ප්‍රකාශ පිළියෙල කරනවා. ඒතකොට අපිට පුළුවන් spreadsheet package එකක් භාවිත කරලා බොහොම පහසුවෙන් මේ මූල්‍ය ප්‍රකාශ කට්ටලයක් පිළියෙල කරනවා. ඒකට අපි පුතාලා උසස් පෙළදී සාකච්ඡා කරලා ඇති ආයෝජන තීරණ සම්බන්ධයෙන්. එතකොට එතනදී ඒ දේවල් අපි මැනුවලි සිද්ධ කරනවා. නමුත් මෙතනදී අපි බොහොම පහසුවෙන් පරිගණක ගත පරිසරයක් තුළ computerized environment එක මේ Microsoft Excel software එක භාවිත කරලා බොහොම පහසුවෙන් මේ දේවල් සිද්ධ කරනවා. ඒ වගේම තමයි අපි මූල්‍ය අපි කියනවා financial management අපි කියන එකට මොකක්ද finance නේද? ඔව්. එතකොට මූල්‍ය කළමනාකරණය. එතකොට මූල්‍ය කළමනාකරණයට අදාළ applications උත් උදාහරණයක් විදිහට අපි එදිනදා ජීවිතයේදී අපි ණය ලබා ගන්නවා, අපි ලීසින් පහසුකම් ලබා ගන්නවා. එතකොට මේ වගේ අවස්ථාවල අපි දැනගන්න ඕනේ අපි ගෙවන වාරිකයක තියෙන ඉන්ට්‍රස්ට් එක කීයක්ද? එතකොට කැපිටල් රීපේමන්ට් එක කීයක්ද? එතකොට මේ වගේ දේවල් අපි දැනගන්න ඕනේ. අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට කම්ප්ලේන් කරනවා මේ ලෝන් එකක් ගත්තාම ගෙවනවා ඉවර වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. එතකොට පුතාලට මේ උදාහරණය බැලුවොත් වෙන්නේ අපි ලෝන් එකක් ගත්තාම මුලින්ම අපෙන් ගෙවෙන්නේ වැඩිම මුදලක් යන්නේ ඒක පොලිය තමයි පුතා මුලින්ම ලෝන් එක ගෙවෙන්නේ. එතකොට ඒක ඔයාලා බැලුවොත් මෙතන පේනවා අපි මිලියන එක ලෝන් එකක් අරන් තියෙනවා 118 පොලියට අවුරුදු 5කට. එතකොට එතනදී අපිට පේනවා වාරිකයේ 25393යි මාසිකව. එතකොට එතනින් පළවෙනි වාරිකයේ පොලිය තියෙනවා 15000. මුදලින් පිය වෙන්නේ 10000. නේ 10393. එතකොට මේක තමයි තත්ත්වය. එතකොට මූලික අධීරයේදී එතකොට පළවෙනි වර්ෂ කිහිපේ වැඩිම මුදලක් ගෙවෙන්නේ පොලිය තමයි. ඊට පස්සේ අපිට පේනවා ලෝන් එක ගෙවාගෙන යනකොට අවසානයේ කිට්ටු වෙනකොට තමයි මුදලින් වැඩි ප්‍රමාණයක් ගෙවෙන්නේ. දැන් උදාහරණ බලුවොත් වෙන්නේ අපි අවුරුදු එකමාරක් වගේ ගියපු තැනක මුදලින් ගෙවෙන ප්‍රමාණය වැඩි. පොලියත් ඒ හා සමානව යනවා. හැබැයි කාලේ යන්න ඔන්න අපි ගත්ත මුදල ගෙවෙන ප්‍රමාණය වෙනවා. එතකොට අපි මුලින්ම ලෝන් එකක් අරගෙන අවුරුදු 2ක් වගේ ගිහින් බැලුවත් ඒකෙන් බොහොම සුළු මුදලයි ගෙවිලා තියෙන්නේ. දැන් අවුරුදු 2ක් අවසානයේ අපි බැලුවොත් මුදලින් අපිට ලක්ෂ 3යි ගෙවිලා තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට විශාල ප්‍රමාණයක් පොලියමයි ගෙවිලා තියෙන්නේ. right? එතකොට ඒක තමයි මේ ලෝන්ස් වල තියෙන යථාර්ථය. එතකොට පුතාලට පෙන්නන්න පුළුවන්. පුතාලගේ අම්මලා තාත්තලා ලෝන්ස් අරන් තියෙනවා නම් එතකොට මෙන්න මේ විදිහට තමයි මුදල් මේකේ ගෙවීමක් සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ කියලා. right? එතකොට මේවා තමයි විවිධ applications වල උදාහරණ අපි කතා කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ. Then we call it also provides theoretical and practical knowledge of database management system to provide analytical competence in the field of computerized database applications in accounting. It provides you with theoretical and practical knowledge of database management system. You know, here you would experience, so we'll be working with databases with thousands of records, or sometimes there can be 10,000s of records. So in a practical setting, so when you are exposed to the corporate world, so when you are working, you would find that so the most important tools that you must be aware of is definitely going to be the Microsoft Excel. So in that you'll be working in most of the time databases. In these databases you would find that there would be like thousands of records or even 10,000s of records. So then you may know how easily, so once you learn this subject, you will learn how easily that you can manage this database with thousands of millions of records even. So if you have uh, thousands of millions of records, so without any worry, you can easily and you can quickly, efficiently, you can handle this data, right? So in this course also we'll be working with large scale databases. If I'm just to show you an example of a database that we had worked on, you can see here we have a kind of a database. So the segment, the country, product, discount, likewise several aspects are there. It's an example of a database, and there you can see uh, so here we have records of nearly 1000. Yeah, it's 700 records. So in this database we have 700 records, but you can handle this 700 records very easily. So very easily, it's not something difficult. But if you thought of doing that in a manual way, that's not going to be easy, right? So if I ask you that if you are to calculate the sales, if you have to calculate the sales by each country, so if you are going to do that manually, so it's not going to be an easy task. Because for example, if you are to figure out the sales of Canada, you need to go through each of these records and you need to pick the sales that is relevant to Canada, right? So that's how you have to do that manually. But here it's a matter of 700 records, right? But so if you um, once you learn these applications of we call it if function, the inbuilt function we'll be discussing. So if you want to figure that sales, you can see that in few seconds. In few seconds, if you apply a particular inbuilt function, you can come up with that sale. So therefore, so this computer applications had necessarily make your life easy. So it's just a matter of few clicks. So in few clicks you can get into the desired result. But if you are going to do that manually, so definitely it would take you like 2 to 3 hours to perform that job, or even it may be days. But here in say 2 to 3 minutes you may come up with the answer, right? So this is something that we do, another important aspect that we do in this course. So apart from the different applications, we'll be working on the large scale databases. Then when it comes to these lecture sessions, as I told you that we are planning to uh, deliver them online and as well as in the mode of video recordings, because so considering the present situation of the country, uh, the government and the university does not allow us to take you physically. So therefore, uh, so though we are quite pleased to meet in a physical environment and conduct face-to-face lectures, but that may not be possible for possible for some time. So therefore, by adhering to the laws of the country, the laws of the regulations of the university, so we will be operating online. So there, as I told you, we'll be doing the videos, video recordings, and we'll be uploading that to your learning management system. So then you can download that and you can study them. And not only that, as I told you, so this subject is a very practical subject. So therefore, you need to perform different activities, different uh, uh, you need to practice a lot. Hence, what we are doing, will be uploading the activities or practice questions. So therefore, you can try those questions out, and we'll be arranging a kind of online discussion, maybe for 1 hour's time or maybe half an hour's time, to discuss your answers. So there you can come up with your answer, as well as the difficulties that you have faced in getting into the answer, and the problems that you have faced. So everything can be discussed. So therefore, for your benefit, so we'll be arranging these online discussions as well, right? So later we'll be giving you more information on this online and video recording, right? So now let me come to the course stuff. So in fact, this course is delivered by myself. So I'm Roshan Herath. So I'm the coordinator of this subject, and also I'll be delivering the lectures as well. So therefore, whatever the problems that you would encounter in this course, so you can keep in touch with me. So I'll be sharing my contact details so with you in our inauguration session, so that we'll be having, as well as through the LMS I'll be giving my contact details, so you can email me, you can call me, and likewise, so whatever the support that is needed to ensure that you are getting a high quality learning experience, so we are dedicated to that. And when it comes to the lectures on the subjects, so usually we are having lectures on Sundays, morning 8 to 12 p.m. So this is a 4-hour teaching would involve per week, but we are going to meet every 2 weeks time, not in a weekly basis, but in a 2 weeks time. So your course will be starting from 31st January. So in the 31st January, you'll be having 2 lectures on that day. So that is computer-based accounting and also the database, the access database related subject you'll be having. On the 7th, you'll be having my subject, as well as the what do you call the subject that is taken by Mr. Samita Rodrigo. So that's how we have planned. So basically, we'll be meeting in every 2 weeks time. So here I have mentioned you in advance what are the dates that we are going to meet on 7th, 21st, 7th March likewise, right? So we'll be having 10 lectures. So this is how it spanned across the timeline. But here, as I told you, so in each of these works, in each of these days, prior to this date, I'll be uploading the video recording. So therefore, you can download them and you can study those materials. And starting from 21st of February, we are going to have our online discussion. So I told you that we are operating in 2 modes. One is video recording, so where we upload relating to each of these, but in well advance we'll be uploading that. But these are the relevant dates for us. So probably 3 hours or 3 to 4 hours of lectures would be uploaded here. Then apart from that, when it comes to the online discussion, so on these days, starting from 21st of February, we are going to have our online discussion. So maybe a 1 hour's discussion, right? So the whole purpose is to discuss the activities, the practice questions that we'll be giving you. එතකොට පුතාලා මේ කෝස් එක කෝඩිනේට් කරන්නේ සහායකී lectures කරන්නේ මම. එතකොට පුතාලට මගේ contact details ඒ වගේම contact details email සහ telephone numbers අපි share කරගන්න ඔයාලත් එක්ක inauguration session එකේදී. ඒ වගේම අපි ඒවා LMS එකෙත් පුතාලගේ learning management system එකෙත් available කරනවා. එතකොට ප්‍රශ්න තියෙන අවස්ථාවලදී කතා කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ දේවල් අපි ensure කරනවා ඔයාලට හොඳ learning experience එකක්. ඒ ප්‍රශ්න තියෙන ඕනම වෙලාවක අපිට කතා කරලා ඒ දේවල් resolve කරගන්න ඕනේ, right? එතකොට අපි lectures පුතාලා conduct කරන්නේ usually Sundays වල. එතකොට මේ session එක අපි Sunday 8 to 12 තමයි ගන්නෙ. නමුත් අපි හැම සතියකම meet වෙන්නේ නැහැ. අපි සෑම සති දෙකකටම වරක් තමයි අපේ lecture එක schedule කරලා තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට අපි physically meet වෙන්නේ නැති නිසා අපි meet වෙන්නේ online mode එකේ. එතකොට distance mode එක අපි එතකොට ඒක virtual classroom විදිහට අරගෙන තියෙනවා අපේ venue එක. Right? And learning management system. LMS meaning learning management system. The main mode of communication. එතකොට පුතාලා අපි lectures අපි plan කරලා තියෙනවා පෙබ්‍රුවාරි 7 තියෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ සති දෙකක් ගිහිල්ලා පෙබ්‍රුවාරි 21 ඊට පස්සේ මාර්තු 7 මේ විදිහට අපි මේ ටික සති 10කට තමයි අපි මේක plan කරලා තියෙන්නේ. මම කිව්වා සති පැය 40ක teaching involve වෙනවා කියලා. එතකොට සති 10ක් පුරාවට පැය 4 ගානේ එතකොට පැය 40ක් involve වෙනවා. එතකොට අපි මෙතන physically lectures කාලයක් යනකම් අපිට තියන්න බැරි වෙයි. එතකොට ඒ නිසා අපි මොකක්ද කරන්නේ? වීඩියෝ රෙකෝඩින්ග්ස් අප්ලෝඩ් කරනවා මේ දවස් වලට අදාළ. එතකොට මුලින්ම පෙබ්‍රුවාරි 7 වෙනිදාට අදාළ වීඩියෝස් ටික අපි අප්ලෝඩ් කරනවා ඊට කලින්. එතකොට පුතාලට මේවා ස්ටඩි කරන්න ලොකු කාලයක් තියෙනවා. එතකොට අපි ඒවා කලින්ම අප්ලෝඩ් කරනවා. right? ඊට අමතරව මම කිව්වා අපි ඔන්ලයින් ඩිස්කෂන් එකකුත් ගන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා කියලා. එතකොට පුතාලට අපි වීඩියෝස් අප්ලෝඩ් කරලා අපි ඒත් එක්කම ප්‍රැක්ටිස් ක්වෙස්චන්ස් උත් දෙනවා. එතකොට පුතාලට ඒවා ඇටෙම්ප් කරන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට ඒවා ඇටෙම්ප් කරලා ආවට පස්සේ අපි මේ දේවල් පැයක කාලයක් වගේ අරගෙන පැයක කාලයක් අරගෙන අපි මේ දේවල් සාකච්ඡා කරනවා ඔන්ලයින් ලයිව් ඩිස්කෂන් එක. එතකොට මේ ඩිස්කෂන් එක මම බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා පටන් ගන්න පුතාලා පෙබ්‍රුවාරි 21 ඉඳලා. එතකොට 21 වෙනි පෙබ්‍රුවාරි 21st of February ඉඳලා අපි මේ ඩිස්කෂන්ස් ටික ඉදිරියට අරගෙන යනවා. එතකොට සෑම මේ සඳහන් කරලා තියෙන සතියකම එතකොට අපිට 8:12 කියන කාලය තියෙන. එතකොට අපිට පුළුවන් උදේ 8 ඉඳලා 9 වෙනකම් පැයක් අරගෙන පුතාලගේ තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න සාකච්ඡා කරන්න. එතකොට අපි ඔන්ලයින් ඩිස්කෂන් එක ලොකු වෙලාවකට ගන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද අපි වීඩියෝ රෙකෝඩින්ග්ස් අප්ලෝඩ් කරනවා පැය 4කට, පැය 3ත් 4ත් අතර අදාළ කාලයකට. ඊට අමතරව අපි මේ ඔන්ලයින් ඩිස්කෂන් එක ගන්නවා පුතාලගේ ප්‍රැක්ටිස් ක්වෙස්චන්ස් ඒ වගේම ප්‍රශ්න මේ දේවල් සාකච්ඡා කරනවා. ඒතර ඔයාලා ගොඩක් බෙනිෆිට් වෙනවා. ඒතර ඔයාලට වීඩියෝ රෙකෝඩින්ග්ස් තියෙනවා. ඒ දේවල් ඔයාලගේ ඇසෙට් එකක් හැමදාටම. ඊට අමතරව ඔයාලගේ ක්වෙස්චන් ඩිස්කස් කරන්න ප්ලැට්ෆෝම් එකක් අපි ක්‍රියේට් කරලා තියෙනවා. right? Then let me come to the course aims and the outcomes. The aim of this DCPA 1301 course is to enable students to use Spreadsheet and its inbuilt function to develop different accounting models to be used in different organizational decision making. Right? As I told you, in this course what we are doing, we are discussing about the different applications of spreadsheet techniques. So using Microsoft Excel, we are discussing about different applications like investment appraisal, preparation of financial statement, and preparation of loan repayment schedule, and many more. So those are different applications. And most importantly, in this course, what we'll be doing is that we'll be developing the different accounting models. This is the keyword of your course. Remember, right? We are not just producing an answer to a question, but we'll be producing the models. Then how it is different from an answer to a question and a model relating to a particular scenario? In answer to a question, the application is one time. So if you have a particular question, so if you produce an answer for that, say for an example, you are given a trial balance, and if you've been asked to prepare the financial statement, okay, based on that you prepare the financial statement. It's a one-time application. But here that is not the case. What we are doing the models, right? We are doing accounting models. What do you mean by model? So let me show an example. The necessary condition of a model is that model is capable of manipulating. The model is capable of manipulating to different circumstances. So if I am to provide you with a kind of a standard definition on this accounting model, we call it's a simplification of the reality. It's a simplification of the reality which allows you to easily manipulate the circumstances and get the desired result, get the desired outcome. तर අපි මොකක්ද මේ මොඩල් එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ? මම කියව මොඩල් එකක් කියන එක ප්‍රශ්නයකට ආන්සර් එකක් කියන එකෙන් වෙනස් වෙනවා කියලා. දැන් අපි ප්‍රශ්නයකට ආන්සර් එකක් කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? අපිට මොනවා හරි තොරතුරු ටිකක් දෙනවා. ඒ තොරතුරු පදනම් කරගෙන අපි ඒකට ආන්සර් එකක් ඩෙවලොප් කරනවා. දැන් අපි හිතමු මේකම ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් ඇප්‍රයිසල් එක ඔන්න පුතාලට තොරතුරු දීලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට මූලික ආයෝජනය, selling price, like price තොරතුරු දීලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට මේ තොරතුරු පදනම් කරගෙන ඔයාලා ආන්සර් එකක් ඔන්න ඩෙවලොප් කරනවා මැනුවලි කියලා හිතමු අපි. මැනුවලි ඩෙවලොප් කරනවා. right? එහෙම නැත්නම් කම්පියුටර් එක ටයිප් කරලා ගන්නවා. එතකොට ඒක ප්‍රශ්නයකට උත්තරයක්. right? එතකොට මේ ප්‍රශ්නයකට උත්තරයක් අපි හදපුවාම එතකොට ඒක අදාළ වෙන්නේ මේ ප්‍රශ්නෙට විතරයි. එතකොට මම කිව්වොත් මම මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ වෙනස් කරොත් පුතාලා මොකද කරන්න වෙන්නේ? ප්‍රශ්නේ වෙනස් කරොත් මම කියනවා මේකේ තියෙන තොරතුරු කීපයක් මම වෙනස් කරනවා. වෙනස් කරොත් පුතාලට මොකද වෙන්නේ? ආයෙත් ආන්සර් එකක් ඩෙවලොප් කරන්න වෙනවා. එතකොට මේකේ වෙනස්කම් සිද්ධ වෙන්න ඔයාලට සිද්ධ වෙනවා ආන්සර්ස් ඩෙවලොප් කර කර යන්න. එතකොට ඒක තමයි ප්‍රශ්නයකට උත්තරයක් කියන්නේ. right? නමුත් මෙතන accounting model. දැන් model එකක් කින් මොකක්ද තියෙන වාසිය තමයි අපි එකපාරක් මේක ඩෙවලොප් කරගත්තට පස්සේ අපිට පුළුවන් මේක changing circumstances වලට අදාළව උත්තර ලබා ගන්න. changing circumstances වලට අදාළව අපේ අවශ්‍ය කරන result එක අපිට ලබා ගන්න. ඒකට අපි කියනවා manipulate කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. මේ data වෙනස් කරනකොට අපිට different result එකක් ලැබෙන විදියට. ඒකට අපි කියනවා model එකක් කියන්නේ model is a simplification of the reality that allows to manipulate the given set of information to get a desired result. ඒකට අපි කියනවා simplification of the reality යථාර්ථය. අපේ මේ තියෙන යථාර්ථය මේ පරිසරයේ තියෙන දේවල් අපි ඒක simplify කරගන්නවා. ඒක අපි manageable තත්යකට ගේනවා. එතකොට මේ investment decision, investment appraisal decision කියන දේවල්, තර ප්‍රායෝගික ලෝකයේ තියෙන දේවල්, තර පුතාලා ඒක සරල කරලා ඒක සරල විදිහට ඔන්න අරගෙන තියෙනවා Excel sheet එකට. right? ඒක simplification of the reality. ඔන්න reality එක simplify කරගෙන තියෙනවා. එතකොට ඒකෙන් මොකක්ද තියෙන වාසිය? In a model that allows you to easily manipulate that. ඒක ඔයාලට බොහොම පහසුවෙන් වෙනස් කරන්න පුළුවන්. right? easily manipulate and you can get the desired result. එතකොට manipulate කරන්න පහසුයි වගේම ඒ තුලින් ඔයාලට ඒ අදාළ result එකත් ලැබෙනවා. දැන් උදාහරණයක් විදිහට අපි බලමු. ඔන්න අපිට දැන් basic information ටිකක් දීලා තියෙනවා. investment එක 100 million, selling price 15,000 විදිහට. ඒතර ඒ තත්ත්වයට යටතේ ඔන්න අපි ආන්සර් එකක් ඩෙවලොප් කරලා තියෙනවා output එක. දැන් අපි බලමු. ඒතර පුතාලා මතක තියාගන්න මේ NPV value එක 110,937,749 somewhere around that, right? Now let's change some of this information. So let's make it 50 million, right? And let's make it 20,000, and let's make it 40,000 demand, and see what happens with that. You can see that suddenly your output change, right? When you manipulate the given information, when you manipulate the given data, so it will produce you the results at the same time, right? It is different from finding an answer to the question, right? So the finding an answer to the question is one-time application, but here it is something beyond that. So when you change the things, when you change the input, right? When you change the input, you can see that the different results are appearing. So therefore, so if you want to appraise say 10 projects, right? If you want to appraise 10 projects, so you don't have to do it again and again, right? So you can input the details, the inputs relating to each of these projects, and you can easily get the output in no time, right? So let's say that you have a project with 25 million, no problem, you just enter that, make it 10,000. So whatever the change that you do, you can see that make it 30,000, whatever the change that do, according to that change, their results would come in no time. The results would appear in no time. So that is the beauty of this model. So you can easily come up with the result. So that is the beauty of the model. So this is what we call the model. So in the model you can see that the input, output, as well as there is a process as well. We'll be discussing them later in the model. Necessarily there are some inputs, process and output where we'll discuss later, but you can see that more prominently the input and output can be seen. So it's a kind of what do you call that, manipulation of the circumstances to get the desired result. So it's a simplification of the reality that allows you to easily manipulate that. So similarly, so if you want to change this loan that we have taken, say that now you are planning to have 20 million loan. Okay, so you can do them in, it's 2 million, no? You can do them in no time. Say that your interest rate, so with the government decision it has decreased, so this is it. If you want to change the year to 3 years, let's say, see, so without any effort you are coming up with, you can see that when it come to 3 years the loan is over, that's why. So here it's appearing as a kind of number error. You don't have to consider that, because you know if you make it 3 years, then by the end of the 36th installment the loan has become 0, right? So that is the manipulation. So you can manipulate the information that is being given and you can get the desired result. But if you think of doing this manually, so it would take you sometimes hours and hours, right? For one circumstances you have to produce one answer, to another you have to produce another, but here see how easy it is. So that is the beauty of this spreadsheet package, the beauty of these spreadsheet packages, right? So in no time, so once you once you give the inputs, so the output would automatically comes. But to get that you need to develop the processes, you need to develop the kind of relationships, the kind of application of different inbuilt functions, those has to be done, right? That's what we are going to do, learn. So අපිට පේනවා මේ models වල බොහොම පහසුවෙන් පුතාලට answers ලැබෙනවා නේද? ඒ කියන්නේ අපි මේ තොරතුරක් වෙනස් කරන තත්පරයට මේ දේවල් වලට answers ලැබෙනවා. එතකොට ඒක එහෙම වෙන්නේ ඇයි? අපි මේකේ logical relationships built up කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ අදාළ functions apply කරලා මේ relationships develop කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා තමයි එහෙම තත්පරයට answers එන්නේ. එතකොට මේක model එකක් develop කරන අවස්ථාවේ යම්කිසි effort එකක් තියෙනවා. That is true. but ඒක අපි develop කරගත්තට පස්සේ අපිට ඒක ඕනෑම තත්වයකට apply කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකට ඒක තමයි model එක තියෙන වැදගත්ම දේ. එතකොට keyword එක තමයි model එක අපි කියනවා it allows you to easily manipulate the given data and get the desired result. So manipulation is the key. You can easily change the data, right? So we'll be discussing them in detail later, but just to give you some kind of a understanding, right? So therefore remember, in this course we are not interested in looking at an answer for a question, but it is something beyond that. We'll be doing models. So when it comes to the models, you can manipulate and you can apply that to different circumstances. So in the with the changes in circumstances, you can accommodate that and you can see the results, right? The students will use their knowledge relating to financial accounting, management accounting, and financial management to develop variety of accounting models and to create reports for decision making. So here, basically, we are going to build on the knowledge that you have. So in your A levels, you have gathered some knowledge relating to the financial accounting, management accounting. So using that, we'll be developing different models. So not only that, so we'll be teaching you different financial accounting and management accounting, as well as financial management applications. So by teaching all of these aspects, so uh, we'll be developing the models, right? So therefore here you are getting a particular skill so that you can definitely apply in the corporate world. When you once you expose to the corporate world, you will realize that so Excel is going to be the most important software in the corporate world. Right. Then let me come to the learning outcome. So upon the completion of this course, what you need to achieve. You should be able to understand the importance of a spreadsheet in developing accounting related models. So as I told you, this course is all about the development of models. So we are not just looking for answers for question, but instead we are developing models. So where you can apply for any change in circumstance. So that is one of the expectation. You should be able to understand the importance of this spreadsheet package. So you must be able to apply that. You must be able to appreciate the importance of these spreadsheet packages. Then analyze a given scenario and develop accounting models using spreadsheet and its inbuilt function. Right? So you must be able to, once you've given some inputs, once you've given a particular real world scenario, so we'll be giving you different cases, right? Once we give you the different real world scenarios, so we are expecting you to take that to a spreadsheet and develop the different accounting models, right? So this is something necessarily a skill that you will earn through this course. And the development of model itself is not good enough, because I told you that once you develop a model, you can use it for lifetime. You can use it for lifetime, and you can change it. You can input different data and you can use it forever, right? So therefore the model that you develop, you want to ensure that it works perfectly. It is error free, right? No apparent errors are there, no errors are there, right? So then how you can ensure that the model that you develop is error free? That is the by using the audit tools. So here you would find that so the different audit tools are available in the spreadsheet package. So definitely we'll be discussing those aspects, right? By using these audit tools, you can see the relationships that you have developed, the logical relationship that you have developed is how accurate they are, right? So if I'm just to show you a kind of a some tool that is available for you. So it is comes under the formulas tab. So these are different tabs. So usually you are in the home tab, but when you come to the formulas tab, you can see that the options are available, right? Error checking, the trace precedence, the trace dependence. Likewise, you can look at investigate the different relationships, right? So if I'm just to click on one, and if I'm to click on this trace precedent, you can see that this software shows me, this application software shows me how this particular value has been derived. So I have taken this value, and based on that, so considering these values, so we have get into this value. Then it shows how these particular values has come, right? It even further shows the relationships, right? So therefore when you click a particular cell and once you click on these options available, so it will show how that particular figure has comes from. So we'll be discussing these things, but just to give you, right? So if I click on this trace dependent, so what are the cells that is depend on that? Likewise, you can investigate whatever the relationship that you have developed. All right. So this will help you to see the relationships that you have developed in this model, whether it is accurate. So that is what we call the auditing the model that you have developed. So you are going to learn those aspects, right? But just to show you something. Then develop financial reports using spreadsheet built-in functions to enable informed decision making. So at the end of the day, by doing all of this, especially in accounting, what we are trying to do, we are trying to satisfy the information needs of the resource providers. So when you come to an organization, so we have different resource providers like investors, the lenders, and other creditors likewise. So we want to provide them with the information to facilitate their decision making, so especially the financial reports. So here we are going to learn how to prepare a set of financial reports using this spreadsheet package and its capabilities. So that is something which we are going to do. And finally, you should be able to appreciate critically and contemporary issues and needs of business environment and generate accounting models to support such business scenarios. So you must be able to uh, understand, so what are the changes that is going on in the business world, what are the contemporary issues, the problems in the business world, and what are the development in the business world, in the business environment, and according to these different requirements of the users, different requirements of the investors, different requirements of the lenders, how to develop models to support their decision making. So therefore, ultimately we try to uh, facilitate the decision making of the resource provider. So all these applications, so this is the computer applications in accounting that will facilitate that decision making of the resource providers. Then we come to the learning resources. So these learning materials, the lecture materials, this course introduction, everything we made available to you, that is through the your learning management system. Through the learning management system, we made available all the tutorials or the practice questions and also the lecture materials. So that is well prior to the lectures. And not only that, video recordings would also be uploaded to the learning management system. So it's a YouTube link we'll be uploading, so you can download and you can learn there. The relevant case studies where relevant will be available on the LMS prior to the lectures. So again, as I told you, this is about the practice questions in the mode of case studies sometimes, so will be available them through the LMS as well. And if you find it interesting, so you can go and read further on this accounting modeling or the financial modeling, and study further this Microsoft Office Excel. So these are the readings that we would recommend. So it is Mr. Excel, so that is by uh, the Bill Gillen, so 2017 publication. You can study that. This is also another recommended text, the financial modeling 2006. So these readings are available in the LMS, so you can uh, most of the time this may be you may be allowed to download them on free or even access in online. So you are encouraged to access these materials and read for further understanding. Then let me come to another most important aspect. It's about the learning and teaching activities. So I would say this is one of the most important aspects of the today's discussion. I told you that this is an course which is expected to deliver in 10 weeks time, started from 7th of February, and we are meeting twice a week. We are meeting twice a week, right? So the first week, that is 7th of February, uh, what we'll be teaching you, that is basically the course introduction. So what we do now, so that is what something due on 7th of February. So this course introduction would be provided. And also, as I told you that we'll be starting this course from the very basics, right? I would say very basics, even from how to start the Microsoft Excel software. right? But probably almost all of you would aware of that, but I'm taking from that particular level to the advanced application, right? So therefore I'll be providing you with in another video introduction to Microsoft Excel and also the financial modeling. So I told you that this course is about the model development, so therefore I'll be providing you with introduction to accounting modeling or the financial modeling. So when you come to the delivery, it's a video recording of the lecture, so I'll be making available these videos. So that is it, and it's contact hours, it's going to be 4 hour, it's equivalent to 4 hours of learning. So that's about the learning that is due for the first week, and this in the second week, so that is on 21st of February, that is our second week. So there I'll be teaching you the spreadsheet principles and auditing tools, the auditing tools that we have just discussed. So I'll be taking you through that auditing tools. Not only that, you know, when it comes to this model development, there are certain principles, right, that you need to learn. So therefore I'll be teaching you different uh, principles. So there are several principles relating to that, and I'll be teaching you those principles that you need to apply throughout this course, and throughout the model development you need to apply them. So therefore it is the spreadsheet principles and auditing tools. So in that, what we'll be doing, it's about the video recordings of the lecture. As usual, we'll be doing the video recordings. And not only that, as I promised, so we are going to start our online discussion, right? So on 21st of February, we are going to have our first online discussion, right? So I'll be making available the Zoom link to you, and you are supposed to access, and then we are having our discussion. Most probably it is a 1 hour discussion, right? It's something due on week 2. තර පේනවා අපි පළවෙනි සතියේදී සාකච්ඡා කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන ඔයාලත් එක්ක course introduction එක, course එක introduce කරන එක. ඒක තමයි මම මේ කරන්නේ. ඒත් එක්කම අපි කතා කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා introduction එකක් දෙන්න මම හිතනවා පුතාලට මේ Microsoft Excel සම්බන්ධයෙන්. ඒකට Microsoft Excel කොහොමද open කරන්න කියන තැන ඉඳලම අපි ඒක කියලා දෙනවා. ඒත් එක්කම accounting models develop කරන එක තමයි මම කිව්වා අපේ ප්‍රධානම objective එක. එතකොට අපි මේ course එකේදී මම බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා මුලින්ම accounting modeling කියන්නේ මොකක්ද, financial modeling කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියන එක පුතාලට පැහැදිලි කරන්න. මම සරලව කිව්වා. So it is about the manipulation of the given information or the relevant data to get the desired result. So we'll be discussing more on that. එතකොට අපිට පේනවා එක වීඩියෝ රෙකෝඩින්ග්ස් තමයි අපි පළවෙනි සතියේ යන්නේ. ඒතකොට ඔන්ලයින් ඩිස්කෂන් එකක් නැහැ 7 වෙනිදාට. නමුත් 21 ඉඳලා අපි ඔන්ලයින් ඩිස්කෂන් එකක් පටන් ගන්නවා. right? ඒතකොට වීඩියෝ රෙකෝඩින්ග්ස් ටික දානවා අපි 21 වෙනිදාට කලින්. 21 වෙනිදා සමහර වෙලාවට සතියකට වගේ කලින් මට පුළුවන් වීඩියෝස් ටික අප්ලෝඩ් කරන්න. ඒත් ඒක ඔන්ලයින් ඩිස්කෂන් එක අපි 21 වෙනිදාට සිද්ධ කරනවා. right? ඒතකොට එතනදී අපි කතා කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා අපි accounting මේ models develop කිරීමේදී අනුගමනය කරන්න ඕන යම්කිසි principles වගේක් තියෙනවා. ඒ principles මොනවද කියන එක අපි කතා කරනවා. එතකොට ඒක මේ course එක පුරාවටම වැදගත් වෙන කාරණාවක්. ඒ වගේම අපි දන්නවා මේක model එකක් develop කරාට පස්සේ ඒකේ accuracy එක ensure කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒතකොට ඒ සඳහා අපි auditing tool සම්බන්ධයෙන් සාකච්ඡා කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. ඒතකොට ඒ ටික තමයි අපි දෙවනි සතියේදී සාකච්ඡා කරන්නේ. ඒතකොට මේ ටික බේස් කරලා මම ඇක්ටිවිටි එකක් දෙනවා පුතාලට, ඇක්ටිවිටි එකක් හෝ දෙකක්. ඒතකොට ඒ දේ තමයි අපි ඔන්ලයින් එකේදී ඩිස්කෂන් එකේදී සාකච්ඡාවට භාජනය කරන්නේ. Then on week 3 we'll be discussing about one of the important spreadsheet application that is called the spreadsheet decision logics, right? So when you have a particular condition, so you can test a particular argument. You can test a particular argument. So subject to a particular condition, whether to accept a particular decision or not. So it's about the if functions. We call it if functions. So under these if functions, we'll be discussing about different if functions, right? Different uh, different variations of these if functions, like nested if, and we call it sum ifs, average ifs, count ifs. Likewise, wide range of applications will be discussed. So sometimes you would have discussed about these if functions, but probably you may not discuss the most of these if functions. So here, so we'll be taking you through all these applications, uh, in very detail. So in very detail, we'll be discussing these aspects. So this is particularly important in terms of your assessment, and also even it has a kind of practical importance as well when you go to the corporate world. So most of the time you can make sense out of these different applications. So these if functions basically we use to test a particular condition or particular criteria, or particular criterion, or particular or criteria. So it may be one criterion, or there can be several criteria, right? So if a particular criteria gets satisfied, what is the outcome, right? That's what we call the if function. So in that, as usual, we'll be doing the video recordings, and I'm also planning to have the online discussion. Then most importantly, you can see that here we have our assessment activity. So in the third week, I'm going to have your first assessment. So in this course, I told you that we have the continuous assessment, right? You have the continuous assessment. So under that, I'm expecting to do certain class activities where you'll be given marks. You'll be given marks, maybe 4 to 5. So if I'm to be precise, let me check how much marks that I have allocated for this class activities. You can see 30. So you can see that per activity we are going to see how many activities are there. There are 6 activities, so therefore each activity will get 5 marks, right? You can earn 5 marks for each of the activities, right? For these class activities, I'll explain them later, but it's a kind of activity that I'll be giving a practice question, and you need to perform this activity, and you need to submit the answer. So then I will mark this one, and your marks will be communicated through the LMS, right? Hence, remember that in this course we have uh, this continuous assessment for 30 marks. So the participation of the online discussions, and also the listening to the video recordings is pretty much required, because you can earn marks out of that. So if I am to share my experience in the last batch, so there I could found that almost all the students had managed to obtain more than uh, 25 marks. Out of the 30 marks, most of the students had managed to obtain 25 marks. So if you get, say, 25 marks out of 30, so in your final, so if you have to pass that subject, all what you have to get is just 15 marks, right? So therefore, as far as this course is concerned, the passing the subject is not a difficult task, but you need to work hard to go for a good grade. So that must be your task, not just to pass this subject, because this is a kind of a skill, as I told you earlier. So therefore, make sure you are going for a good grade, right? පුතාල අපි තුන්වෙනි සතියේදී සාකච්ඡා කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ ස්ප්‍රෙඩ්ෂීට් වල තියෙන වැදගත් ඇප්ලිකේෂන් එකක්. අපි කියන එක decision logics කියලා, if functions. So if functions වලදී වෙන්නේ අපි යම්කිසි condition එකක්, එහෙම නැත්නම් conditions කිහිපයක් අපි ටෙස්ට් කරනවා. ඒතකොට ඒ conditions කිහිපයක්, ඔය condition එකක් ටෙස්ට් කරලා අපි බලනවා යම්කිසි result එකක් ගන්න. දැන් උදාහරණයක් විදිහට අපි හිතමු පුතාලා ඩ්‍රයිවිං ලයිසන් එකක් ගන්නවා කියලා. તો ඩ්‍රයිවිං ලයිසන් එකක් ගන්නකොට අපි දන්නවා ඒකේ ප්‍රධාන අවශ්‍යතාවයක් තමයි ඔයාලා අවුරුදු 18 සම්පූර්ණ කරලා තියෙන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට එතන අපිට කන්ඩිෂන් එකක් තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට අපිට අහන්න පුළුවන් what is your age කියලා. එතකොට අපිට ඒ age එක බේස් කරලා අපිට මොඩල් එකක් ඩෙවලොප් කරලා තියන්න පුළුවන් නේ. මම නිකමට පෙන්නුවොත් මේ දේවල් අපි සාකච්ඡා කරනවා ගැඹුරින්. එතකොට මේ අවස්ථාවේ right. එතකොට අපි ඔයාගේ age එක තමයි අහන්නේ. එතකොට ඔයාට ඒකට answer එකක් දෙන්න පුළුවන්. අපි 19 කියලා. එතකොට මට පුළුවන් මේ if function එක භාවිතා කරලා ඔයා eligible ද නැද්ද කියන එක තීරණය කරන්න. right. එතකොට මගේ logical test එක විදිහට මම ගන්නවා age එක. මම මේක ටෙස්ට් කරනවා. වැඩිද හෝ සමානද අවුරුදු 18ට වඩා. ඒක true නම් මම කියනවා ඔයා eligible කියලා. eligible නැත්නම් මම කියන එක not eligible කියලා. not eligible. right. එතකොට මේක අපි model එකක්. මේක input එක මේක output එක. එතකොට මට ඕනම කෙනෙක්ගේ ආවගම මම දෙන වයස දාපුවම මට ඒ අදාළ result එක කියනවා. ඔය eligible ද නැද්ද? right. eligible. එතකොට ඔයා not eligible. right. ඒකත් එතකොට model එකක්. එතකොට මේක තමයි එක basic application එකක් if වල. එතකොට ඒ වගේ එක condition එකක් මෙතන තිබුණේ. ඊට වඩා conditions කිහිපයක් තියෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. ඒකට විශේෂයෙන් පුතාලගේ විභාගයකදී අපි දන්නවා ලකුණු 70ට වඩා ගත්තොත් A 50 70ත් අතර නම් අපි හිතමු B කියලා. 40ත් 50ත් අතර නම් අපි හිතමු C කියලා. එතකොට 40ට වඩා නම් අපි හිතමු fail කියලා. ඒතකොට එතන අපි තියෙනවා conditions අවස්ථා කිහිපයක් නේද? එතකොට අපිට nested if භාවිතා කරලා ඒ වගේ දෙයක් derive කරන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට මේ දේවල් අපි පසුවට සාකච්ඡා කරනවා. නමුත් මේ අවස්ථාවේ පොඩි අදහසක් දෙන්න. right. so it's about the spreadsheet decision logic. එතකොට මෙතන තියෙන වැදගත්ම කාරණාව තමයි පේන පුතාලට මෙතන assessment වලදී පළවෙනි assessment එක සිද්ධ වෙනවා තුන්වෙනි සතියේ. එතකොට තුන්වෙනි සතියේ අපි ලකුණු 5ක් සඳහා පුතාලට activity එකක් දෙනවා. එතකොට මේක ගෙදර අරගෙන යන්න පුළුවන් take home activity එකක්. එතකොට ඔයාලා මම කියන දවසට මේ activity එක කරලා answer එක upload කරන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට අපි මේ answer එක mark කරලා ලකුණු දෙනවා. එතකොට මේ විදිහට class activities මම 6ක් plan කරනවා. එතකොට ලකුණු 30ක් පුතාලට ලබා ගන්න පුළුවන්. right. okay. Then we have the week 4. In week 4 what we are going to do, another important thing, it's about the important tools in spreadsheet models. So I told you that you will be developing models. So once you develop these models, you can by using the different tools that is available, you can add some beauty. You can add some glamour to the models that you develop. Right. These tools would basically help you with adding some beauty to the models that you develop. Right. To adding some glamour. Right. The models that you develop, so it has to be something eye pleasing. Right. So because most of the time you will be developing these models for the outsiders, so therefore the appearance matter. So they would like to see a kind of a model that is looking quite nicely. So therefore these tools that you are going to learn in week 4 would be able to add some beauty to the models that you develop. So we'll be discussing the spinners, the option buttons, the check boxes. So likewise different aspects, right? And also we have the video recording. Also I'll be taking online discussion on that. So if I'm just to show you kind of the models that the tools that we are using. So even in this questions you could have seen that here you can see that it's a particular spinner button, right? So you can see the application, right? You can easily, once you click on that, you can see that the relevant figures in this model it change. So here we have the cost of sale, so it get change, right? So therefore these buttons would be helpful to adding some beauty to the models that you have developed, right? So that is one example. So likewise for the figures you can add these buttons as appropriate, the frequently changing ones, rather than just typing and changing the things. just by clicking on this you can change the relevant figures. So the investors would be really happy with that, or the model users would be really happy with that. So they may not like to go and type the things, but instead just clicking and getting the relevant answer. So that's why I told you this will add some beauty. And also I can show you that so here we have a list box. So again this is a kind of scenario where that so there are several data packages that is available for a customer. So once the customer comes and he may select once he tell whatever the package that he wants. So once we click on that, so the relevant price of that package would be shown. So this is a list box. See, so it has added some beauty to the model that you have developed. So likewise you can see this is another aspect that we are going to discuss. Even in the first question itself I have included the list box. You can see that. So once I click on that, so here I have asked to highlight the three highest sales. So when I click on this, so it simply highlight them. See how easy it is, rather than doing that manually, right? It's just a matter of one click. You can get the desired outcome. So therefore, more or less, what these tools would do, it will add some beauty, right? You'll be learning all these things, right? Just to show you how those are being used. So then we can come to the week 5 also. This discussion so discussion of these tools would take us some time, so therefore I believe that we need 2 weeks for that. So therefore I have kept week 5 for the continuation of the discussion on these important tools. And not only that, also I have taken another important powerful analysis capability that is available in your spreadsheet package, and we call it's a pivot table. So using this pivot table option, so you can analyze a database with thousands of ten thousands of records in no time. You can it is having a kind of a high analytical power, so this particular tool. So therefore when you work in an organization where you have to handle the large scale databases, this tool may come handy. So we'll be discussing on that. And you can see that our second class activity would be based on our discussion on these important tools. Based on this tools discussion, we are taking our second class activity. So if I'm to show you a kind of pivot table example, even in this question I have applied a pivot table. It is something like this, right? So here the requirement was referring to this database with 700 records. I just want to analyze what are the products that they are selling and what are the countries that they are operating. So then I have asked to, by applying this pivot table, so we have asked to generate the kind of a sales of each of these product in each of these countries. So it's simply given to us. You can modify these things, so whatever the change that is required, it is possible to do, right? So we'll be learning these aspects. So at the moment that pivot table is inactive state, so you can change these aspects, right? We'll be learning those aspects as well, right? This is one example of the pivot table application. So very powerful analysis tool. Then on week 6 we are going to discuss about a financial management related application. It's about the financial functions like the loan repayment schedule preparation, as we discussed, and also the preparation of depreciation schedules, and also investment appraisal using the net present value technique and internal rate of return. So that is our week 6 discussion. So if I'm to show that, so in the second question you have seen that we had the NPV. So this is what we call the NPV, the net present value exercise. So the investment appraisal using NPV and also the IRR. And apart from that, I have shown you this is the depreciation schedule that we have prepared. So when you give the cost relating to a particular PP item, property, plant and equipment item, the cost, useful life and the scrap values are given. So how to do the depreciation schedule. So that is something which is going to discuss under this course. And also the loan repayment schedule, what I have shown you earlier, that is also another application we will be looking at. So that is our week 6 discussion. So these are very practical aspects and we'll be discussing them in much detail. So in week 6 you can see that our third class activity is due on that week, and that is based on this financial function. Thereafter we are going to discuss about the lookup functions. So that again, that is a kind of a tool that is helpful for us to extract some information from a large scale database. So when you work in large scale databases, so you may need to extract the information. So this will help you to extract the information from the large scale databases. The vertical lookup, horizontal lookup and lookup, right? So that is our week 7 discussion. Even so those aspects are being tested in case of the examination. So if I'm to just show you yeah, those aspects are being tested. Yeah, so these are kind of applications of this if functions, sorry, applications of lookup functions. I just want to show you. See, it's a VLOOKUP application. So by using this database, it's a small scale one, but referring to that database, I have extracted some information. So there I have used the VLOOKUP function, right? So this is practical application of them, right? So you can see that the each and every aspect that you learn would matter, because in case of the exam, everything get tested. Hence, this is in one hand, it's a skill, and also in order to pass this subject, you need to study those aspects as well. Then on week 8, we are having the sensitivity analysis. Sensitivity analysis. That is also another important aspect. So there we see in a given model, when there's a particular variable change, how it is going to impact on the rest of the model. That's what we call the sensitivity analysis. Sensitivity analysis, right? So under that, we'll be discussing one-way data tables in the sense when one variable change, what is the impact that it has on the output, and when there are two variables change, how it affect your output, and even more than two variables, how it going to affect your model. So that is what we call the sensitivity analysis. So we'll be discussing them in detail, but just to show in case of the exam, so this is what we call the application of scenario manager. So there we have taken some basic model. So it is a profit after tax we have calculated based on some information, and then for different scenarios we have look at what would be the output. So this is what we call the scenario summary. So all these things I'll be taking you through in very detail and very comprehensively, right? None of these aspects are difficult. You don't have to worry anything. We are explaining them to the fullest, and we will guarantee you that. So you will be getting a kind of a sound understanding on this. තර පුතාලට පේනවා අපි දැන් විවිධ applications කතා කරමින් යනවානේ. තර අපි කතා කරා විවිධ financial functions ගැන කතා කරා. එතන අපි කතා කරා ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් finance professional කෙනෙක් use කරන function එකක් අපි දන්නවා. loan repayment schedule එකක් prepare කරගන්නේ කොහොමද? depreciation schedule එකක් prepare කරන්නේ කොහොමද? එතකොට share වීම වලට අදාළ schedule, එතකොට ආයෝජන investment analysis ආයෝජන තීරණ සම්බන්ධ විවිධ ඇගීම් සිද්ධ කරන්නේ කොහොමද? එතකොට net present value එක බේස් කරලා IRR. එතකොට මේ වගේ දේවල් අපි සාකච්ඡා කරනවා. ඊට අමතරව අපි කතා කරනවා විශේෂ ෆන්ක්ෂන් එකක් අපි කියනවා lookup function කියලා. එතකොට vertical lookup, horizontal lookup කියලා මේකේ variations තියෙනවා. එතකොට ඒවා slight variation. එතකොට උදාහරණයක් කිව්වොත් vertical lookup කියන්නේ මේක සිරස් අතර තියෙන tables වලට තමයි අපි databases වලට තමයි මේක apply කරන්නේ. horizontal lookup කියන්නේ අපි සිරස් අතර තියෙන තිරස් අතරට තියෙන tables වලට එහෙම නැත්නම් databases වලට තමයි අපි ඒක apply කරන්නේ. ඒතර මේ functions වලින් මොකක්ද ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ අපිට යම්කිසි තොරතුරක් extract කරලා ගන්න පුළුවන් හැකියාව තමයි ලබා දෙන්නේ. ඒතර මම උදාහරණයක් පෙන්නුවා. ඒතර උදාහරණයට මතක ඇති දැන් මෙතන මම lookup එකක් use කරලා තිබ්බා. ඒතර මෙතන පේනවා මේ silver කියන package එකට අදාළව silver කියන package එකට අදාළ data ප්‍රමාණය තමයි මෙතන මේ ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒතර මොකද්ද කරලා තියෙන්නේ මේ table එකේ තිබ්බ තොරතුරක් මම extract කරගෙන තියෙනවා. ඒතර ඒක තමයි අපි කියන්නේ extraction tool එකක් කියලා මේ lookup function. ඊට පස්සේ තියෙනවා මේ sensitivity analysis. එතකොට අපි බලන්නේ අපි දන්නවා model එකක් ගත්තාම අපිට variables ගණනාවක් තියෙනවා. එතකොට පුතාලට models දැන් family ඇති කියලා මම හිතනවා පොඩි අවබෝධයක් ඇති. එතකොට මේ model එක මේ යම්කිසි variable එකක් අපි change කරනවා. අපි හිතමු cost of sale. එතකොට මේක change කරපුවාම NPV වලට තියෙන බලපෑම මොකක්ද? අපි හිතමු cost of sales 100ට 20 වෙනවා කියලා. right? එතකොට 20 වුණොත් කීයද NPV? එතකොට ඒක ඔන්න sensitivity analysis එකක්. යම්කිසි එක variable එකක් change වුණා. එතකොට මොකක්ද තියෙන impact එක? එතකොට ඊට අමතරව ඕනනම් පුතාලට පුළුවන් variables දෙකක් වෙනස් කරන්න. එතකොට මේ cost of sale එක අපි හිතමු 15ක් වෙනවා කියලා. එතකොට ඒකත් එක්ක අපි හිතමු initial investment එක මිලියන 50ක් වෙනවා. ඒ වගේ තත්ත්වයක්. ඔන්න එතකොට model එකේ variables දෙකක් වෙනස් වුණා. එතකොට variables දෙකක් වෙනස් වුණාම මොකක්ද output එකට තියෙන බලපෑම? එතකොට ඒක තමයි අපි කියන්නේ sensitivity analysis කියන්නේ. එතකොට ඊට අමතරව විවිධ scenarios වලට අපිට ඕක apply කරන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට අපි ඒක කතා කරනවා පසුව. එතකොට මේ ලාභය හෝ අලාභය පදනම් කරගෙන යම්කිසි දීලා තියෙන තොරතුරු ප්‍රමාණයකට අදාළව අපි කාලච්ඡේදයේ බදුපසු ලාභය හොයලා. එතකොට ඒක විවිධ තත්ත්ව යටතේ sales unit වෙනස් වෙනකොට, sales price වෙනස් වෙනකොට, cost එක වෙනස් වෙනකොට, tax එක වෙනස් වෙනකොට කොහොමද වෙනස් වෙන්නේ කියන එක අපි බලලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට ඒව තමයි අපි කියන්නේ sensitivity analysis කියන්නේ. එතකොට මේවා කාට වෙන කොහෙවත් course එක හම්බෙන්නේ නැති valuable content එකක්. නිසා මේකේ ප්‍රයෝජනීය උපරිමයටම අරගන්න කියලා කියන්න කැමතියි. Then we are going to discuss about our final application, that is a kind of a advanced application, and we call it solver application. What do you mean by that solver? So that is again to get different business decisions, we can use this solver function. So for example, say that you are a manufacturer. For a manufacturer, let's say that you are producing several products. Say that you are producing products called, let's say, different toys. Let's say that you are developing or you are manufacturing 4 different kinds of tools, 4 different kinds of toys. So in that, now you find that due to the prevailing COVID pandemic, you find that so getting materials for the development of these toys is challenging. Getting labor for the development of these toys is challenging. So due to these challenges, the labor availability and the material availability is limited. If these resources are in limited supply, then how you are to use these resources efficiently and maximize your profit? It's a kind of important business decision. So this solver would help you to get that particular decision. So මේ solver වලදී අපි විවිධ applications කතා කරනවා. දැන් ඒකට මම එක උදාහරණයක් කිව්වොත් ව්‍යාපාර ලෝකෙ සිද්ධ වෙන දෙයක්. අපි හිතමු manufacturer කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. එයා හදනවා toys. ඒකට එයා toys වර්ග 4ක් හදනවා කියලා හිතමු. දැන් මේ COVID එකත් එක්ක එයාට ඒ අදාළ අමුද්‍රව්‍ය ගන්න බෑ. ඒ වගේම labor එකත් අවශ්‍ය තරම් ගන්න බෑ. ඒකට මේ resources limited. එතකොට මේ resource limit වෙච්ච වෙලාවක ආයතනයේ ලාභ උපරිම කරන්න නම් එයාලා විසින් ඒ ආයතනයේ විසින් නිෂ්පාදනය කළ යුතු භාණ්ඩ මිශ්‍රය මොකක්ද? එතකොට එක් භාණ්ඩයෙන් ඒකක කීයක් හදනවද? භාණ්ඩ වර්ග කීයක් හදනවද? එක් භාණ්ඩයෙන් කීයක් හදනවද? ඒතර ඔය වගේ තීරණයක් ගන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට ඒක අපි කියනවා solver application එකක් කියලා. එතකොට මේ වගේ විවිධ applications තියෙනවා. අපි මේ දේවල් සාකච්ඡා කරනවා. ඒක අපි සති දෙකක් පුරාවට යන discussion එකක්. එතකොට අපි solver base කරලා අපි activity එකකුත් design කරලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට පුතාලට පේනවා මේ course එකේ අපි එතකොට activities 6ක් තියෙනවා. එතකොට මේ activities 6ට එකකට ලකුණු 5 ගානේ ලකුණු 30ක් බෙදලා යනවා. Right? It's about your course. Then let me come to the learning and teaching strategies. Most of the time we'll be doing videos, so where we'll be making available for we'll be making available through the LMS, and those videos would be ranging from 3 hours to 4 hours. Most of the time it may be videos for 3 hours time, and also as I told you, we'll be having online live discussion. So starting from 21st February, we'll be having the online live discussion as well. And when it comes to the materials availability, we'll be make the materials available through LMS. The videos, lecture materials, practice questions, the assessments, the marks, everything is made available through the LMS. Then again, let me come to a very important one. It's about your assessment. How you are going to assess. Assess karan. You can see that, as I told you even earlier, we'll be planning to have 6 class activities. The class activities api denawa පුතාලට 6ක්. So in these class activities, each activity will account for 5 marks. So accordingly, for all the activities, you are getting 30 marks. Marks පුතාලට 30ක් හම්බ වෙනවා. So it is 30% of your marks. And how it operates? So as I told you, class activities are individual take-home exercises. එතකොට ඒක පුතාලා ගෙදරදී කරන activity එකක්. Right? ඒක practice question එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. අපි question එකක් දානවා class activity කියලා. ඒතර පුතාලා ඒක කරලා upload කරන්න ඕනේ. So students are given activities to attempt within 3 days after the relevant lectures. So we'll be specifying you the relevant dates, but we'll be allowing you 3 days to attempt these activities. You can attempt the activities within 3 days and you can upload it. But it's not a hard one, it's a quite simple one. So you can do that in like 15 to 20 minutes time, but we'll be allowing you considering your other commitments. Sometimes you may be working, sometimes you may be following other degree programs or other courses, right? So considering those things, we'll be giving you 3 days time, right? And you need to do that activities using your spreadsheet package, and then you need to upload it to the LMS. Upon the completion, the class activity should be uploaded to the LMS using the given link. අපි LMS එකේ link එකක් create කරලා දෙනවා පුතාලට. ඒකට ඔයාලා ඒ assignments upload කරන්න ඕනේ. There will be 6 class activities as indicated in the section for learning and teaching activities. The class activities account for 30 marks. So I have shown you when and where you are going to have the class activities. So I have clearly mentioned that, right? So starting from week 3, then week 5, week 5, week 6, week 7, week 8, week 9. So likewise, we'll be having our class activities, right? So therefore, now you should understand that going through listening to all the video lectures and participation for the online discussions are pretty much important, right? Then the final exam. A 3-hour question paper will be given for the final examination and will be held in a computer laboratory as a closed book examination. So the 3-hour question paper will be given for the final examination. So you are given a question paper for 3 hours. So it will carry 5 questions. In fact, I have shown you the last time paper, right? So you can have some understanding, right? So the questions, so we'll be given a kind of a structured paper, so where all the formats are given to you. You all have to produce the answers in the relevant sections, right? So this is your paper. So you can see that it consists of 5 questions and it is to be attempted in 3 hours time. And most importantly, this is done in the computer laboratory, so you have to come to the university and it's going to be a closed book examination. So you need to study well for the final examination. But don't worry that we'll be make available the model papers, so then you can work out these model papers and you can prepare for your final examination. So it will cover the full syllabus given in the course specification. The final examination account for the rest of the 70 marks. So that's how the 100 marks comes. So then it's about some general information relating to the course policies. So the most important thing is that you need to be in alert with the LMS. So because the medium of communication that we would have is that through the LMS. That is the platform where that will uh, enable us to communicate. So therefore, develop a habit that at least once a week you are going to visit the LMS. At least once a week, visit the LMS and see what are the announcement, what are the lecture materials, and the lecture notes that is being added. Also, grading for continuous assessment and end-semester examination is displayed on LMS. So we'll be, as I told you, the continuous assessment marks we are going to let you know through the LMS, and also the end-semester examination marks. Everything is made available through the LMS as well. So it is expected the students to be honest and ethical in their academic activities. If a student deliberately copies, cheats, or plagiarizes, he or she may be penalized in the basis of the university rules and regulation. So especially when it comes to the examination, you cannot violate the exam rules. So I told you that this is individual assignment, that is something to be attempted on your own. You should not copy, you should not cheat, and even you should not use the materials in any mean, materials of others in any mean. So you need to uphold this honesty and ethical behavior when it comes to the examination especially. And also you need to maintain some good discipline. So here the classroom discipline, in the sense that we are going to have the online discussion. So when you are having this online discussion, so you need to make sure that so you'll be switching on the mic, so when and where it is necessary for you to talk something relevant to this discussion. So in other times you need to make sure that you are keeping your mic switched off, so otherwise there can be lots of disturbance. So you should not interfere, you should not disturb uh, your lecturer and even the other students, so while they are learning. So you need to maintain that particular discipline, especially in the online discussions, right? Okay, right. So that is about some of the classroom disciplines. So basically, this is what our course is all about. So you can uh, go through them again and again. So if you find so anything that you need any further information, yes, you can feel free to contact your lecturer and get the relevant clarification. Thank you.